6:51, if everybody's okay, I'll start the meeting. Anybody needs a break? No? Now? No one is taking up on that opportunity, so then I will call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Aldermen for Monday, September 18th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Alderman Cox.
Here.
Alderman Hudson.
Present.
Alderman Decker.
Here.
Alderman Rogers.
Present.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
If everyone stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That moves us to comments from citizens. At this time, we entertain any comments from citizens. I've had nothing by email or anything like that, so if no one else has, I will close the comments from citizens part. That moves us to item 5, Bartlett West reports. They're in the packet. Should be pretty straightforward. Okay, any questions or comments about Bartlett and West reports for the water treatment monthly report? If not, that moves us to B, the wastewater treatment plant monthly report. Good news throughout there as far as that part of it getting done. More around that. So that moves us to item 6, the consent agenda. I would accept a consent agenda for the Board of Aldermen meeting minutes for August 21st, 2023, August 30th, 2023, the collector's report from August of 2023, activity reports of August activity report. All of those, I would take entertain a motion to approve those.
I move the consent agenda be approved.
Second.
First and second, the consent agenda be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. That moves us to the accounts payable over $1,250. I will entertain a motion after everybody has a chance to look at it. If there's any questions or anything, this would be for $880,789.92 in total. I have one quick question that I have for it is that $141,384.21 for lining. Is that the last of our lining we've talked about, or is there more lining to do based upon our budget and what we have planned?
So that number was the second contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so then that would be the end until we go, yeah.
Rebudget.
Right.
Right, that's what I thought, that's why I was asking the question.
I move that we approve the accounts payable over $1,250 for a total of $880,789.92.
Second.
I have a first and second that accounts payable be approved for $880,789.92. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. That moves us now to action agenda, finance. A, City of Centralia Waste Treatment Plant, pay request form 13. Anything you want to say about that one?
$1,017. I'm reading that right?
What?
$1,017.
Yeah. It's just the work they did looking at the Slaker documentation.
Move we approve the pay request number 13 for $1,017.
Second.
First and second to approve pay request form 13 for $1,017. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. that moves us to B, reimbursement request number 16, labeled as 15 for the DNR. It's got rooms on it, Smith irrigation pump service, it hasn't anything this time, but it has, Martin General Contractors. Is that their final payment, that 84,555?
Yes,
That's what I thought it was.
should be it.
Yeah,
We signed that
84,555.
final payout, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is the payment for the whole, for the completion of the Holden Road.
For Martin, yes, but not for, Renzel's part of it.
Yeah,
What was the figure on that again?
which one?
The one you just said?
The one for Martin is $84,555.60.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Engineering and administrative fees of $14,033.28 for a total of $280,031.13.
I move that we approve reimbursement request number 16, labeled as number 15 for the DNR, for a total of $280,031.13.
Second.
I have a first and a second to approve request number 16, labeled as number 15 for the DNR, for a total of $280,031.13. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. That moves us now to,
Do we have a roll call on that, Elaine?
huh?
We have a roll call vote on that, Elaine? Did everyone vote on that?
No, Landon,
I'll second it.
yeah, but I mean, Landon did not.
I was like,
He didn't, yeah, he
He
went.
wasn't, he was silent, so I took it as.
Yeah, no, I didn't
And
vote.
Landon, do you abstain from? the
Yes, I
previous-
sustained.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sorry, let's
Yeah.
clarify that, that he's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
abstained.
he recruited himself, yeah, he
Thank you
abstained.
very much.
Yeah, absolutely. That moves us to item 9, under old business, discussion to create subcommittee to improve occupancy ordinance. A motion to be able to create that committee, that was kind of brought up by Sydney here. She's wanting to get the input from, for the occupancy, and get all of it, all encompassing, without guessing at what we really want to get more fine out, so she has a better, I think, guide, right?
Yeah, 'cause this is gonna be a fairly extensive rewrite of that ordinance, and a lot of the decisions that can be made are policy decisions that the board should be making, not that I should be making, because there's, different directions you could go. So I really just would like to have input from a committee, so that when we produce this, or I produce this to the board, it's as close to hopefully final as we get, versus bringing you something and then it not quite hitting the target and then going back and rewriting it and then trying, just back and forth. I don't like a ton of committees, because I know we all have a very busy life, but this would be very helpful for me.
So how
to make
many,
sure.
how many would we propose we'd have on the committee?
No more than 3, because you get more than 3 Board of Aldermen on there, you create a public,
Okay.
public meeting, so no more than 3.
Do we have 3 folks that'll volunteer for that?
What's the timeline? How much time do we have?
You have as much, you
3
have as
years?
much, you have as much time as you want. I mean, you can have 3
You
years.
can
We want to make sure,
I mean-
let's just do this, let's make sure we make a commitment to meeting and getting information from where we need to. But let's,
Some of the communication can happen electronically.
oh, absolutely, yeah, sure.
Yes, and my goal would be
I'll
to.
help too.
You want to as well?
There's 3, I
So
guess.
there's 3, that's all we can have,
Yeah.
otherwise it's.
And Robert, since he's the chairperson of this committee, so he can set up the times where we
Well, he
meet.
raised his hand first, so I guess that.
You
I
second
was just
that?
volunteering to be part of this.
Yeah, he was second that, so you have your official.
You did it with authority, I think that's what got their attention, so.
Email us and we'll get
Um,
something.
So that would, I would entertain a motion for us to have this committee, and move forward with it as a guidance, committee on the occupancy ordinance for our, legal counsel, to have a better vision of what to draft.
So moved.
I have a first and a second, to form the committee, the occupancy committee. with the named,
Hudson, Ron Rogers, and
Chairman
Carol
Hudson.
Decker, those three. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. So, thank you, children. Appreciate it. That moves me to mayor, new business, appointments.
Yep.
There was a lot of discussion.
The library
about
board
that.
has an open position to fill Larry Dorman's, the rest of his term into 2025. Kristen Vargas had come to me, used to be Kristen Adams, and she had a desire to be put on the list to be able to do that if it came open. So I talked with the library, Amy at the library, the director there, and she was great with that. I told her before that she was open to it, so this would be to appoint her to fill out the remainder of Larry Dorman's term.
In the notes I read that there's another opening soon.
Yes, and I do have another lady that had left me a letter while we were at the MML, stating she'd be interested in serving on the library board in the future, and that was Marilyn Middleton. But being I had this person already kind of in the queue, so it's a nice bench person, so we do have somebody potentially for that other opening when it comes open, so. And Amy's aware of that person as well.
I move that we approve the appointment of Kristen Vargas to finish out Larry Dorman's term on the library board.
So, first and second to appoint Kristen Vargas to the remaining term of Larry Dorman's. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Moves us to number 11, city administrator, monthly report, attachments. Turn it over to you.
Monthly reports in the packet. You guys have any questions?
You might give an update that we do have the letters out, and a little bit about the,
I did send out 4 abatement letters for 4 dangerous properties here in town. I've gotten 3 of the certifications back that they were delivered. I have spoken, well, we have spoken to one of the homeowners so far. I do have a message from one of the other property owners that I've got to get back to. And then I've not heard from a 3rd one, and I'm not certain that the 4th one has been delivered yet. I haven't gotten the certification back on it, but we are moving forward with that, and we'll see what happens if they get them cleaned up or not. If not, we do have a hearing tentatively scheduled for October the 30th.
I'll be missing for that meeting, so. But I would not be running the meeting anyway, just so you know. I need to freak everybody out.
I'll be here.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
was just double checking. I know out one Monday in October, and I was trying to remember which one it was. But I will be here.
Just thought that was a good update to hear everybody that we're working on that.
Notice had RFQs out?
Yes, the city has 3, the park has 1. And we'll be putting on another one, for tree services soon. I might wait until these 3 wrap up before I put on.
You know, is there any relief we can get through any grants for trees?
Yeah, I talked to Earl.
I reached out, to the conservation agent that's been helping the park, have not heard.
Yeah,
back, so.
I think we should explore that because there's a lot of trees, and a lot of trees that need to be trimmed or taken out of private right of ways in some areas that we need to get ahead of, so where we don't, you know, we don't risk anything that's above ground, make it easier for
Right.
us with bad weather, so.
Yeah, well, I would say in the next 3 to 5 years, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, there's a lot out there, you guys can't keep your
They
head above water.
only assist on public property. They
Uh,
only assist on public property.
well, we got plenty of that.
Cause I asked about it for the church.
No, yeah, we got plenty of it in the easements, yeah. This would be in the easements which would qualify,
Yep.
so.
if we do hear of anything that would help on private property, I know there's a lot of people who would probably want to take advantage of it if we hear of anything.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we do,
Well, keep your ears open.
yeah. If you talk to them and they say, oh, there's something for private property, and we gotta do what we can to let people know.
I don't know, yeah.
There's a lot of green ash trees that are going down.
Yep.
Yep. Some of them have gotten eradicated before their time, even. So anyway, that moves us to old business, I guess. No city clerk. No, city attorney, excuse me. Maybe it's you next.
That's old business, huh?
Yeah.
City attorney's old business.
Hey, you said it, I did.
Yeah,
You made that correlation, I did not.
No, just to kind of follow along with what Tara said, so for those of you who have not been on the board before when we've had a dangerous building hearing, once we get closer to time to knowing how many properties, if any, you're gonna have to actually take the full hearing, I will make sure and give you an overview of what it is that you as the Board of Alderperson will be asked to do and what that looks like. Your hearing officer, since the mayor does not preside, is Jose Caldera. He is a licensed attorney coming out of Columbia. He has served as a city attorney for some communities down south of Boone County, so he has familiarity to serve as a hearing officer and is free to do so. So when we get closer to time, I'll make sure that those that have not been through this obviously understand, and I will give a refresher for those who have been through it of what is going to be expected. So that's coming up on the 30th. I've been helping Tara and the city out with a couple of human resources matters we had within the last month, and obviously we have some litigation issues that we're hoping start wrapping up here pretty quickly, so that would be nice. But so definitely keeping busy, and as soon as I get the notice of the pre-filing of bills for next legislative session, which comes next month, legislators around the area that are especially within Boone County will start putting out their list of priorities and what legislation they intend to pre-file, if any of it impacts obviously the city or something you need to know. I'll make sure and bring it to your attention. I have been told that it is going to be a busy one focused for municipalities, so we'll see.
Yeah, there were some crazy things discussed at, MML, so
Yeah, so just,
keep on, we'll keep
you're
an eye on
just
what
gonna
comes
have
out. Yeah.
this may be a more busy cycle, I anticipate, than we've probably seen in the past 10 years, some of which we may really want city input from both citizens and this board, and maybe even some trips to Jefferson City. So we're gonna have to just kind of take a look and see which direction the board would like to go. That's what I have.
Okay, that moves us to our city clerk.
One thing that we have coming up, I'd kind of like your guidance on, is several years, I don't know how many, but past several years, Myrma Health has offered health screenings, no cost for all of our employees. They come in, they do the wellness screening, the self-assessment test, the blood test, et cetera. Board, as an incentive, has approved employees receiving 4 hours of vacation time to participate. I looked, I didn't see in the years past we had an ordinance for that or a resolution. I think it was just an approval. So they'll be contacting you soon to get that scheduled. Schedule it sometime in October to be held first part of December probably.
Since that is technically a paid benefit that can be accrued if somebody were to separate in the future, we really should capture that in a motion just so that we have that in writing, that was authorized by the board. I know, I agree, I don't think we've ever done that in the past, but we probably should
I'm
do
sorry,
that
I didn't know.
moving forward.
I didn't know we-
I don't remember, and I'll emphasize, remember hearing it, voting on it. but-
I don't know the answer to that question. I remember that there had been some incentive, I remember Heather talking about it, but just because vacation is an accrued benefit that could potentially be paid out upon separation, it's just best practices that you would capture that in a motion, so it's very clear what you're giving.
And
what
it has to
you're
be
giving.
used for that specifically, to get that.
Right.
And we don't have time to just put that on the future agenda.
Yeah,
It would just need to be a motion approved.
right. I don't know, any discussion on that? I mean, is it, I mean, right now it's 4 hours that we've done historically in the past, or some precedent.
Historically, yeah,
Half
the
a
past 2 years, I believe we've done it 4 hours.
I don't ever remember talking about it.
I'm almost positive that they brought it up in
I don't know if I would
I don't
remember, I wouldn't know.
As I emphasize, I don't remember. Not that we did.
But, I mean, I don't know, half a day for what's in town and benefit to yourself personally as well. I mean, it's a mutually satisfying program. That seems like,
and
I don't know. I'm
I
just,
will tell you, I'm not gonna speak to just our employees, but overall, there have been several participants that were notified of, health issues during the wellness check, and that these people don't normally go to a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
So it brought their attention to these health issues, which helps them. It helps their municipality because it saves on health
they
insurance
don't
costs.
potentially
or
get
something
sick and
that
they're out
happens.
or whatever.
Right, so it really is beneficial for our employees to attend this, wellness program.
Sure.
It's beneficial for everybody.
I think it's
And
great
I've
that they do.
I haven't seen vacation pay, but it's normally a reduction on healthcare costs, but that's not really a
Yeah,
big
I know
issue
that,
here.
yeah.
So if we're talking 4 hours of vacation pay compared to, you know, what I have received in the past for doing these in a health cost reduction, we're not talking a big expense in comparison to what others have offered. You know, several $100s a year essentially is what I would normally have seen, so 4 hours of pay for people is less than that.
Several $100 household, I mean, what
They would be, well, no, what I've seen,
oh, it's a reduction per person?
what, yeah, it'd be
For cost of the-
$700 reduction per
Okay,
year to
makes
my
sense.
healthcare
Makes sense.
premiums.
Yeah, makes sense.
Um,
Cost.
So when we're talking about 4 hours, we're not talking anything,
Extravagant.
yeah.
Well, if it saves somebody life or just all the way around.
It's an encouragement, it helps encourage people to do it, because there are people who probably wouldn't do it if they weren't encouraged. And yeah.
Well, it's great. I think we ought to put that on the agenda. I mean,
We need that as an agenda item.
It would need to be just because it's not formally motioned up here and
So we need to
so.
make a motion, make it on there, a motion to do it, approve it, and, yeah. So it's formally on it. It needs to be specific about what it's for, right?
Correct, and then who gets to take the vacation, like I said, all employees of the city, is it just employees that have murmur? It just needs to be put on the agenda so we're clear, so when you all make the motion to approve or whatever you decide to do, it's clear what you're given and who you're.
It needs to be written
Yeah.
to drive the behavior that we want, which is them to get screened. So, you know, you just don't get it because, if you choose, I'm not gonna do that, then it's make sure it's clear.
Right.
It's used for the purpose of getting screened. And who's that available?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Great. Great kid. That was a great program. So, that moves us to, closed session.
Both 1 and 2.
What are we needing? It's not both, is it?
I'm gonna provide an update on, what we discussed previous about the piece of litigation. It'll just be a quick update for some of the community settlement issue.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's mostly, and
That's it?
it could actually tie into number 2 as well.
Okay, so both.
They do cover both.
Let's do both.
I make a motion that we go into a closed session. During the meeting, the Board of Aldermen may elect to go into closed session, hold a closed vote, and the purpose of such closed session and closed vote shall be: 1, is approved for under section 6100211 of the revised statutes of Missouri for legal actions, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communications between the public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys. And 2, as provided for under section 6100212, leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate by public governmental body where public knowledge of the transaction might adversely affect the legal consideration.
Okay, thank you. I've had a motion to go into closed session for both 1 and 2. Roll call. Well, we got, it's just a vote. Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Roll call, vote, please.
Alderman Cox. Alderman Hudson.
4.
Alderman Deckard.
4.
Alderman Rogers.
4.
Alderman Magley.
Yeah.
Okay. Get back. Came back into, there was a vote, the only vote taken was to come back into open session. We just had discussion, there was no votes taken. So we're back into open session. That moves us to, as may arise. Any as may arise?
I got one little thing. Can you, I know this, I should have said this before, but on the bond issue and all the water treatment and all that, about what, can you tell us later about what's left on that, money-wise? Which we're getting real close to complete, aren't we?
For the project?
Yeah, for the whole project, except for the
Which
Slaker, I
project?
understand that, but for the whole complete project.
For
that-
which project?
What's left?
Yeah. I
Are
mean,
we
you don't have to
happy-
answer that tonight, but.
Okay.
we
Which
should-
project?
Water treatment plant?
Well, both of them. Was both
Well,
of
that
them.
one out there, the bond agency, she's gonna need to know what this final, with this final pay, where that puts it at, to go to the bond agency to pay the difference, whatever difference there is over the project number.
Well, we're pretty close on that too. aren't we?
Well, it's gonna be over, but not a lot. It's not gonna be a lot. I
On
mean,
water treatment?
on the wastewater,
Oh, wastewater? Okay.
yeah. But that'll be going to the bond agent.
But
We have funds left on this one over here.
You're talking about on phase 3?
Yes.
For the Fisher stuff?
Fisher stuff.
Are you
phase
talking
three.
about total project?
I'm
or are you
kinda talking both
Fisher?
projects, total project, what we got left on this one, what we got left on
Okay.
this one, cause by that one being
That one's gonna
finally,
be long,
yeah.
a little bit, but not a lot, and it's already been agreed to.
So you're just looking for, wanting a financial update, how we did on the overall fund, the two projects, over, under, high dollar, not,
Where we're gonna end up, I can guarantee you on both sides of it, is at the number, pretty close, at the number that was projected for us to budget. Any overage on the one side would be taken care of by the bond agency.
We've come a long way, and a lot of this is a lot of that, so we're getting close to finish, so it's just,
your definition of close is interesting.
it's a crawdad thing, no more crawdads, correct? No more, okay.
So, any others may arise? And I entertain a motion for number 17 to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
The first and second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unanimous, we still adjourn.